Honestly, the art of yodeling is tremendously difficult.
They used it for work. So when they were bringing the cows up on the higher altitudes during the summertime, because there was not so much grass down in the valley, they had to keep it. They had to cut it. So they brought up the cows up in the higher Alps. They walked up with them, and they used the yodel to follow them, or into the bar in the evening. It was 5 o'clock. They had to milk the cows. So they shouted, they looked out in the fields, the cows, and they made it like this. So that's what they did. That Hurli Sasa means, come on, cows and cattle. Come into the barn. Hurli Sasa, no! And they came. Otherwise I had one dog, so. After that, using for work, my father always yodeled when he worked out in the fields, cutting the grass or something like this. When we were kids, I remember quite well. He sometimes yodeled when he finished work. He was at the top of the hill. When he finished, we were sitting down. Maybe sometimes we were sitting next to him and yodeled. My parents, they showed us how to yodel that melodies. I guess there were about 30 traditional melodies in our hometown that people already have forgotten. But me and my friends, we're gonna carry on that tradition, and still my sisters, they yodel too. I'll show you one that we called the Filkgaue. All the time, like 2, 1, A and B, and 2, A and B. And Hussein recognized that time that our tones, and that it's not the Alpine Fa we know already. It's the neutral third, the neutral seventh tone that is always coming. That's something that people think, well, now he's not yodeling right, like on a Swiss yodel competition nowadays. My father would never have a chance, and me neither, to win they would send me back to Muotathal and say, you know, you gotta learn and practice how to yodel. But he recognized that there is something in there that people touch their hearts. Muotathal and the valley surrounded by mountains. Like I said, I was born and raised there in this valley. I'm the youngest of 7 kids, 5 sisters, and I have another brother. I grew up on a small dairy farm, very steep up in the hills. And had about 7 cows, 5 goats, about 3 cats, 2 pigs, and 1 dog. People don't even know how how these melodies came. It's something people, they say, started when they were at the opposite in the mountains to call each other like, and the other guy was shouting, woohoo! And that means, oh, I'm alright, you know, I'm alive. So that's how they say it started with the primitive yodel in the Alps, in my area. You maybe want to know what people are doing now still. We had a family group who went for the public, we yodeled there. But I didn't have so much fun of that after a while because we had to yodel, and yodel is something that comes from inside, from your heart. And that's what you feel when you hear somebody. That's what I felt when I heard older people. And then I was thinking, what does it? He's telling a story with no words. And you feel, like Phil mentioned before, you know, he was telling a story. That's what happened with those yodels. And we got some sad ones too. Like, we got some happy ones. Like, I can show you a happy one if I'm feeling good. It sounds a little bit different. So, after a while, when I was 17, I stopped yodeling. Or before, I was probably 12, so I stopped yodeling for about 5 years. And it was a Sunday. I was quite bored. I had to watch something. I remembered Hussein had some VHGs, and I had a look at them and I found them, and first video shows something about 3 men, and it's something different than I've heard from my family. I felt so much connected to somebody, and that made me thinking that yodeling is not just about tradition and always the same melodies. So in Switzerland, in my village, the melodies sounds the best when there are 3 people. And I'm performing by myself. It's something that I rarely do back home. You know, because I like the second voice and the third voice, the bass. The second voice is the upper voice, and the third is the bass. That gives it the magic from a yodel. Otherwise, for myself, to yodel alone is boring. I never do that. I go up in the mountains, yeah, I yodel sometimes, but I feel boring because I miss the other voices. That gives you that kind of magic. expression is more like really it's powerful. It's not melancholic. It's not. It's not so happy. It's just straightforward. I always start with that when we perform somewhere, and don't forget with the other guys it will sound more full and richer. Yeah, we like that part, like we always press, we go high as we can with the voices. The guys in the choirs, they don't like us because we sound so edgy and so push ourselves, so you know, it doesn't care, they don't care about that. Like when you hear old records, people always want to show how high and how hard, and you know, and you kind of show it off as well a little bit with their voices.